change it, we cannot transform it. Above all, at this human awareness, we cannot know it. This is the main reason that we have different ideas, ideologies, because we don't know what is the absolute truth. To seek the absolute truth, one has to know that something more has to happen to our awareness. Through our evolutionary process, we have to achieve a different, a higher awareness. This consciousness or this seeking has been there since long everywhere. But now in these modern times, it has become very severe. But unfortunately, people don't know what to seek and they are misled. First of all, whatever I am going to tell you, you don't have to take it for granted. Because we have had big problems with these blindfolded faiths. So whatever I am going to tell you, you have to take it like a scientist with an open mind. I am putting forward before you a hypothesis. And if this hypothesis is proved, then it's better we accept it because it is for the benevolence of your being, for the benevolence of your country, for the benevolence of the whole world. It has been promised in all the scriptures that such and such time will come when people will achieve their self-knowledge, their self-realization. But unfortunately, human beings are so conditioned that they don't realize what they have to seek. First thing we have to know that we are not this body, this mind, this intellect, these emotions, this ego or conditionings. But we are the pure spirit. Because we say, my body, my emotions. But who is the owner of this my? That's what we have to be. So we have to be the pure spirit. This is the first thing we are seeking. And the second thing is very important to know that when we take these flowers for granted, we don't understand or we don't want to know how they are there. It's a miracle. If you see, it's a miracle how it works. If you ask a doctor, who runs your heart, he'll say, it's an autonomous nervous system. But who is this auto? That they can't answer. Science itself is amoral and has its own limitations. It cannot answer all the questions, especially why are we on this earth? Why this evolution? And where are we to go now? You have been already told, because they have told me that they have talked about the settled system that is within us. This is the system that we can say is autonomous nervous system in a way which is grossly expressing itself. But within yourself, there are two powers, left and right, which are supporting or manifesting the left and right sympathetic nervous system. And the central one is the parasympathetic nervous system. Luckily, doctors are very honest and they say they don't know much about parasympathetic. That's a fact. Now, in this triangular bone, as you have been told, there is a power called as Kundalini. This power, which is the Kundalini, treasure we have. And also he told me very surprising that this treasure, the knowledge of this treasure is only with Indians. They have this. Even in China I heard about the same thing. But when you start talking about Kundalini, they start thinking it's like a tantric work. Now I have to explain to you that this power is the one which rises. Like a primule of a seed, passes through 6 centers and breaks through your fontanelle bone area and connects you to this all-pervading power which does all this miraculous work. This is actually what you can call the actualization of the baptism, or you can say the Brahma Randra Veda, as they call it in Sanskrit. This happening takes place spontaneously as a living process. You don't have to pay for it. One thing we don't understand, that God doesn't understand any money, He doesn't know any banking. So when we start paying for money, for realization, or for God, or for all kinds of organizations, we are really being misled. All kinds of misleading things have been done. It's very surprising that intelligent, educated people never ask questions about what they are doing, about their ascent, about their spirituality, about divinity. They just accept which has been going on for ages together by their forefathers and their forefathers. But this is a special time, and where so many real seekers are born. Of course, I must say America is nowhere compared to that. Because in Russia, I get never any program done in a hall, but in a stadium. 16 to 18,000 people are there, and they all get their realization. What I found out, that they have no conditionings. They don't know anything about God. They don't know anything about Rama. They don't know anything about Christ, nothing. Clean slates. But once they get to Sahaja Yoga, they understand everything so well and penetrate into the depth of reality. This kind of conditionings that we have had, instead of helping us, we are stuck with this. It's like this. To go to, supposing if you have to go to some hall, you have to climb some steps. But to enter inside the hall, you have to give up those steps. While we are stuck with it, and we can't get out of it. This is the biggest problem, I think. I don't know what to say, but when you see in America the way people have no sense of real seeking, I'm shocked. And I can't understand, why are they like that? They are educated, they are well-off people, there's no problem with them. But that thing is lacking in them to understand what is reality. And that cannot be happy, you cannot be satisfied. This has to work out. This is the last breakthrough of your evolution. And you have to do it, you have to get it. This is what is brought to you absolutely free. But still they'll be busy doing all those rituals, or I don't know what all they do. The best is there's somebody who is coming here and celebrating the marriage of Ram and Sita. Tell them I'm also going to celebrate now. That's what suits the people, I think. I can't understand Ram and Sita were married long time back. What is the need to marry them again and again? But I don't know what happens to the intelligence of even Indians. This is the heritage of Indians. But they too take to such things. Or they take to tantrikas who are just abusing people. They are all making money. That's what it is. If you put one criteria that you will not pay them, immediately you will know they are not there. How can you pay? Just think of it. We have become human beings. How much did we pay? How much did we pay for getting these flowers to Mother Earth? This is a natural, spontaneous living process for which you cannot pay. And people are, I don't know why they want so much money, also I don't understand what do they do with it. But such a misleading thing it has started, that so many of beautiful seekers are lost. As there are many Indians I find here, I would like to tell you that by reading books you cannot reach self-realization. Kabira has said, Padi padi pandita murakha bhaye, means by reading too much, the learned have become stupid. So I said, what is this? What is this Kabira saying? But I have met many like that. They'll show you a book, they'll read this book, read this page. Thousands will attend that kind of a nonsense. Today only we were watching some program where a gentleman was saying how to read Bible. Now I must tell you that people don't read Bible, otherwise they would give up. Because Christ and Muhammad Sahib were very, very great people. And not only that, but they were pure people. They didn't know what sort of things human beings are. So in the 5th chapter of Matthew, Christ has said that if your one eye is doing something sinful, take it out. If another eye is doing something sinful, take it out. If your one hand is doing something wrong, cut it out. If another hand does something wrong, cut it out. If somebody slaps you on one face, you turn another face to him. I have yet to meet any Christian who has lost his both eyes and both arms. They are so self-sufficient. Oh, we are Christians. Now I think Muhammad Sahib must have thought that this is too much for only men, all restrictions. So let us do something for women also. So he must have put these restrictions, but he doesn't know. If these restrictions are put on women, I don't know how many will be living in this America. To look at any man also with the bad eye, you have to be buried in the Mother Earth halfway and to be beaten up with shoes or with stones. Now what do you say? Would be living. So this morality, as was preached by them, is of very high quality and very difficult. Then also this Shariat as they call it for the Muslims. Actually it is given, if you read the Old Testament on the Jeremiah, that it was given to the Jews by Moses because he found them extremely decadent when he brought these 10 commandments. So he said that your hand should be cut if you do any stealing. I mean, this was going too far, I must say, with human beings. And that now they are taken in Islamic laws. I don't know even one single Muslim who should have his both hands intact. But these people thought they are all realized souls, very great souls, so they gave all these laws and regulations. Imagine what would have happened to all the Jews if they had followed, so they gave it up to the Muslims. Now Muslims are supposed to be following it, supposed to be. So now, same with our Hinduism as we call it. It's said that in everybody resides the spirit. How can we have caste system? We just ask a question. If A, B, C, D, E, F, G, S has the spirit in their heart, all right? Everybody has a spirit. So how can we have caste system? There was no caste system before. It was according to our work we were doing, not according to our birth. It started later on. Now Sri Rama's life was written by Valmiki, who was a dacoit to begin with. He was not even a Brahmin. He was just what we call is a fisherman, low caste. Then second thing is, what about Sri Krishna? His Gita was written by Vyasa. Vyasa was the son of an illegitimate son of a fisherwoman. Sri Krishna always used to go and live with Vidura, who was a realized soul. But he would not take food at Duryodhana's place. Vidura was a Dasi Putra, means a son of a maid servant. All of them have shown in their life. Sri Rama eating the berries which were first touched by a very, very old Aboriginal Billini lady, enjoying it very much. The description is beautiful that he was enjoying it, and Lakshmana didn't like it. What is this? She has eaten it and now she is giving to you. She says, see, I have tasted all of them because I know you don't like sour things. So they are not sour. You can have it. Lakshmana was angry. So Sitaji says, all right, let me also have some of this. She says, no, 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 these are the best, I won't give you. Let me have, I'm your wife, you see. Must give me. So he gave her some. She said, I've never eaten such nice berries. See? So Lakshmana says, then give me also. Sister-in-law, please give me some. No, no, now I'm not going to give you. Because you are so much angry, because she had tasted it. I won't give you. He said, please give me. And she gives him. And he really says that these are fruits from the heavens. The whole thing shows it is love. The divine is love. The whole thing is of expression of divine love. We have never used the power of love. We have used the power of hatred or of money or other powers. But never have we used the power of love, which is so dynamic, which is so compassionate, which is so delicate, which is so sharp. We have no idea as to this power that is the divine power is. When we touch it, what can happen to us? We just get transformed. And this transformation makes you into a person who never gets sick, whose temper goes away, who develops wisdom. This is, of course, outward manifestation. But inside what happens is that all these centers, 6 centers, get enlightened. Most of the world problems are from human beings. But I think all the human problems come from these centers. When they are in jeopardy, you have all these problems, physical, mental, emotional, and also spiritual. But somehow if you put... Now one must understand that the last center, which is in the red color as you see, is the one that works out on the physical level what you call the pelvic plexus, doing all the what you call excretion, inclusive of sex. That shows Kundalini awakening has nothing to do with sex. Nobody has said that. Suddenly nowadays we have new people who came up and people believed. Worst curse of America is Freud. Of course, Indians don't accept him, thank God, though they are here. But the stupid Freud, you see, he managed the Americans very well. Not only he managed, but he became, he replaced Christ, and people used to worship him. Now, after so many years, now I am reading books, Freudian Freud, Downfall of Freud, Empire, and all those things. Now the books are coming. But already the poison is in, and they have lost sense of morality completely. The other day, there was a conference in Russia. As I told you, the Russians are very sensitive to spirituality. The oldest university is the St. Petersburg University of Science. And they bestowed upon me an award of an honorary academician. I was amazed, because Einstein was one of them. So I said, what are you doing? Why did you put me with Einstein? Who am I? They said, what? What was Einstein? What was all the scientists? 9 of them. They worked only on matter, you are working on human beings. I was amazed. How they understood my work was so important. And this is it, that one should understand that In medicine, we have reached to the last word. Especially Russia is. In science, they have reached last. Now they don't want to hear any more about science. No, 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 no. Tell us the science of the divine now. Look at those people. Very learned, very well educated. I tell you, when you hear them, you are surprised. And one of the scientists, medical science, he said, Mother, if you remember 5 years back, I asked you a question. I said, yes, I remember that question. He asked me the two lobes of the brain, they are used for the same purpose or different purposes. And I told two different, absolutely complementary in a way, but one acts for the left, one acts for the right. It's absolutely two different things. And he said, I found it now. It's very surprising. There are many things which one can say, because Sahaja Yoga, I think, is meta-science, by which you know things which you can find out. I'll tell you another thing, because Dr. Varlikar told me there are some doctors and scientists, so I better tell you. I told them that the lowest center is made of carbon atoms. Now, if you take carbon atom and project it and enlarge the photograph and make a model out of it, if you look at it from the right side to the left side, you'll find it's a swastika. The swastika that we make, not the other way now. Not German swastika, but Indian swastika. But if you see from the left to the right, you see Omkara. And if you see from down upward, you see alpha and omega put together. Now, Christ has said, I am the alpha and omega, didn't he? And we know swastika is Sri Ganesha. So if I say Sri Ganesha incarnated as Lord Christ, what is so shocking? It can be proved. So many things we have worked out on soul, on this and that. And so many scientists who are in Sahaja Yoga have proved it. But the people who have really recognized are the Russians and Romanians. Of course, Indians also, I must say, in India, not abroad. Abroad, I don't know what happens to Indians. They are like uprooted. I really don't understand, because it's a very, very difficult situation to understand that this is their heritage. They are told you have to be born again. You have to have Brahma Chaitanya. In their own mind it is there, all the time ingrained that we have to achieve that. But once you come to Western countries, I don't know how you forget all your bases. One day, you won't believe, but India will lead the whole world in spirituality, not in money. And in any way, Indians are definitely much more moral than anywhere else. Now the reason is there are two genes within us which look after our morality. This is again meta-science. Now these two genes are on two chromosomes on both the ends. And one gets spoilt or get into mutation when you commit sins against the mother. Sins against the mother is indulgences. All kinds of indulgences, sins against the mother. And another one gets into mutation when you do sin against the father, which is aggression, temper, violence, all that. And this mutation then passes from one gene to another to another. And after some time, it becomes that they are not aware that they are doing wrong. Like drugs and all that I have seen affects also brain, but also the genes. It affects the brain so much that they don't realize that they are doing wrong. They don't know it is wrong. They go on doing wrong things, but they are not aware of it.